Land is critical to all we do in life. Land is indeed for food, for shelter, and for other economic activities critical to the well-being of man. Without doubt, land is recognized as a factor of production. Any student of history knows without doubt that particularly in Africa, land is regarded as the wealth of the people. Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State recently set up a commission of inquiry on land allocation and documentation to review all land transactions and documentation in the state from June 2011 to date. Governor Abiodun appointed 7-man committee with Justice Solomon Olugbemi retired as the chairman. The other members are CP Edward Awolowo Ajogun retired, Barrister Adetunji Onobanwo, Surveyor Oyebanji Akinhomi, Estate Surveyor and Valuer Toyin Aluko, Mr. Oluwaseun Aboluwarin. Others are Mr. Emmanuel Oyekunle and James Olubankole Mafe Esquire as the secretary to the commission. At the inaugural sitting of the commission held at the Ministry of Justice Conference Room at Okemoson, Abeokuta, the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Oluwashino Ogungbade, SAN, said there is a need to clear all illegal land dealings in the state to further pave way for economic development and create a conducive environment for investors to thrive.
This commission has been saddled with a very important responsibility. As we all know, as stakeholders in the state, that perhaps the greatest asset of the state is land, which has even been made more important by virtue of our proximity to the economic capital of Nigeria, which is Lagos State. And this has made Ogun State an attractive location for investors. But in order to have a conducive environment for investors, we should have a system that is transparent and allows for the ease of doing business. Since my assumption of office as the Attorney General, I have received almost on a daily basis complaints from members of the public relating to land matters and particularly land documentation in the state. So in order to ensure that the state gets maximum returns from what it has, His Excellency the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, decided to set up this commission, and it is our expectation that the public and particularly the litigants will cooperate with this commission, and also members of the bar who will be here to present petitions on behalf of their clients will also cooperate.
Mr. Ogungbade said facts about land matters would be reviewed as committee members are ready to follow proceedings to get to the root of all petitions, seeking maximum cooperation from all parties involved.
I can assure the public that this is not a witch hunt. It has not been set up to go after anybody. The overriding interest is the well-being of the citizens of the state, because if the state is able to get maximum returns from its resources, then that will translate down not only to indigenous of the state but also residents of the state. So I welcome everybody to this sitting, and let me close by once again asking for maximum cooperation from everybody.
The Commission's chairman, Honorable Justice Solomon Olugbemi retired, stated that the assignment is to unravel any wrongdoing in land allocation and documentation in the state within the stipulated period, adding that the exercise is not meant to witch hunt any group of people, association, corporate body or individuals.
As the Secretary of the Commission has said or has told you, We have our terms of reference, which he has read out, and we do intend to adhere strictly to the terms of reference. And as the Honorable Attorney General has said, this commission has not been set up to front anybody at all. No names, no particular names have been given to us to go after. There is no vindictiveness, there is no witch hunting of any kind. We will adhere strictly to the terms. And if you listen to the terms read out, the key feature in those terms is illegality. And we are to unravel or look at any illegalities at all, because every one of us in the state is entitled to own land. And indeed, by the provisions of the Land Use Act,
Justice Olugbemi said the commission will find out, make necessary recommendations to government, and thereafter read out the rules of engagement during the proceedings to ensure orderliness.
the governor of the state is holding the whole land in the state in trust for the citizens of the state. So we are all co-owners of land in the state. So there's no way we will say anyone is not entitled to own land, but if there are illegalities in the allocation or management of land by the various ministries and agencies, we'll try to find out and we'll try to make recommendations to curb such illegalities in future and to ensure that the objective for which this commission is set up is achieved. That is, to ensure smooth running of these MDAs and for ease of doing business in the state, and of course to make life easier, because land is a very important factor of production. Even though it's not a court of law, there are certain rules that we have to adhere to so that there will be orderliness in the proceedings. Number one, anyone coming to give evidence here or to be a witness should ensure that he does not give false evidence, no false witnesses, because that itself is an infraction of the law. And if anyone does that, well, even though this is not a court, we can make recommendations for the trial of such a person. Again, if the commission calls anyone to come and give evidence, such a person has no right of refusal. Also, there should be no threats to witnesses. Nobody should threaten any witness at all. If anyone does that, it's an infraction of the Commission of Enquiry law, and it's liable to punishment as well. Again, contempt. Well, it's not a court. This is not a court, but there can be contemptuous acts. If we are all careful, there will be no problem at all. But for those who are not careful, they should be mindful of the fact that this commission has the right to commit anyone disrespecting or insulting or threatening the commissioners.
The state chairman, Ogun State branch of Nigeria Bar Association, Mr. Camille Abolade, in his remark at the inaugural sitting, commended the state government for setting up the commission, which he described as a child of necessity.
I have not had rumors in the room. So that's why I'm particularly happy that this commission can do this.
The NBA chairman said he believes in the integrity of the commission and urged the public to come up with their petition without any fear of molestation.
I also believe in the integrity of the members of the commission, and I'm appealing to the public to come forward and to not nurse any fear about any victimization or harassment from any quarters. Setting it up is something that will benefit every citizen of the state and even people outside of the state. And I'm sure that by the time the recommendations are submitted to the government, there will be an improvement in the ways things are run in the bureau. Lastly, I will say that the members of the commission itself should not have any fear also about the security of their lives. I know the chairman has been a judge, and I'm very sure there will be no reason for the Lord to have that fear, because we know that people may tend to interfere, disrupt, and God forbid, make attempt on their lives. But I'm assuring you, by the grace of God, God will protect you and you will do the job as we expect.
The Secretary of the Commission, James Olubankole Mafe Esquire, said the Commission has received 56 petitions so far, and 7 of them will be dealt with at the inaugural public sitting.
Aligned with the terms of reference that has been given to us by His Excellency, it includes to unravel the circumstances surrounding the rampant illegal land transactions that have been unraveled in the Ogun State Land Allocation MDAs, to identify and unravel all illegal land transactions that have taken place from the 1st of June 2011 to date, to identify all perpetrators involved in any discovered illegal land dealings, to receive and investigate general complaints from the public around land acquisition and documentation in Ogun State, to make recommendations to curb bottlenecks, delays, and corruption in land acquisition and documentation in Ogun State. Also to unravel various sums of money involved in illegal land dealings, identify the value of government loss and recommend methods of recovery. Also to recommend necessary punishment to be meted out to every persons. To suggest ways to curb or forestall or reoccurrence of any identified illegalities and inefficiencies, and finally to make any other suggestions and recommendations that could assist the state government in all other related matters. In carrying out this task, the Commission has, as of today, received 56 petitions from the members of the public, and this morning we'll be dealing with 7 of the petitions as listed on the cost list.
Some of the cases attended to have these proceedings.
You are saying that the land already, owned by your members, some of the land have been acquired by government subsequently, is it?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So all these things, we need to know the details. Then you are talking about impracticable amounts to regularize their land. That government is asking for impracticable. That's the way you put it.
Yes, sir.
And you said some of the land acquired for development control, purposes, have been sold to other investors. That's another accusation.
Yes, sir.
So we need the details. We need the details of this, and before we'll be able to do anything.
We should be able to put our documents to this commission in 2 days.
No, we'll do it the 17th of August. To come back.
17th of August. Okay. To come back, but we would have submitted before then.
If they are calling you to come and get form for ratification,
the ratification must be based on something. If you have title to your land without any encumbrances, the issue of asking you to come for ratification will never, legally speaking, arise. So, as far as I'm concerned, the issue of whether that community is under acquisition or not is very, very crucial. So, it is now what we require from you now is to tell us, is the place, did you discover that the place was under acquisition or not? Because that is the springboard for all what you've been saying and talking about. And mind you, from your own petition, there are two classes of occupiers. Because when you all come under this CDA association, CDA association is those association of those who are living there, not just association of even landowners. Some bought, some are living in their ancestral land as original owner. So some are tenants. Some are even tenants. So at the end of the day, what is the status of that community as far as issue of acquisition is concerned?
We want this honorable commission to assist us, to allow us regularize our title documents, so that we will live.
That means your title documents are irregular. You want to regularize it?
What I mean by regularization is for us to obtain necessary documents from government, since the said acquisition is meant for residential purpose, and we are already occupant residents of the area. We fully developed.
It was properly acquired.
That is the first thing.
Have you found out it was properly acquired?
Are you aware that the petition was written in respect of parcel of land?
Yes.
You sold to them.
Yes.
How do you know them in respect of this petition?
Mo mọ̀ wọ́n nípasẹ̀ lórí petition tó wọ́n mo mọ̀ wọ́n pé ilẹ̀ yìí tọkọ petition lórí ọgbọ́n èmi ni mo bá wọn rà èmi mo bá wọn rà lọ́wọ́ ìyá wọn àgbà lọ́kàn ó ti kú sí ọ̀fẹ́
When?
ó ti pẹ́ gan.
As land has been adjudged perhaps the most important natural resources of the state, it is important that its allocation, documentation and management are given the best attention needed to ensure its optimum utilization for the benefit of all the citizens at the attempt to guarantee inclusive governance and prosperity of all that concerned. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn, àjọṣe wa ni.